It's the one place in Las Vegas where adventure is found in your own backyard. History is synonymous with glitz and glamour. Bicycling is a popular way to explore our urban wilderness. And there are many more stories at the Springs Preserve where all that matters is what's elemental. To go far in Las Vegas to find adventure and excitement. In fact, our newest traveling exhibit proves you don't have to look any further than your own backyard.
We chose Backyard Adventure because the Springs Preserve is basically all of Las Vegas's backyard. So it seemed like a really good fit for us. So this exhibit is all about how you can step into your own backyard, very close, very simple, and find all sorts of science and math and other opportunities to learn by having fun in your own backyard.
Take the game of miniature golf. A backyard putting green offers hours of endless entertainment, but you're probably not thinking about the science behind a round of golf each time you tee up. A game of garden golf at our Backyard Adventures exhibit combines fun with the precision needed to pull off great trick shots that ricochet off course features to land you a hole-in-one.
Some people are very much active learners, so not everybody is going to sit down in front of a book and learn best. They're going to want to move around and explore things with their hands and their eyes and all of their senses, and so that exhibit does this really well. This is a great exhibit for people of all ages, from toddlers up through adulthood. It's very active. That's a great thing about it. You're walking, you're riding a bumblebee while it goes from flower to flower. You're playing games and you're building things and learning how to build things, and so everybody loves to be active and kind of move around in the space a lot. So nobody's going to get bored. They're all just going to be able to find something that feels fun to them where they are.
Complete with a decaying house, night vision explorations, and sounds of critters commonly found in backyards, any of the various hands-on exhibits will engage the movement-oriented learners in your family. And once you step into a garden of wonders and learn about the fascinating science in all backyard environments, we hope your own backyard becomes a new destination worth exploring. Even in the Mojave Desert, there is much to be discovered.
I think what's kind of special about this is that this might present an idea of a backyard that doesn't look identical to our backyards here in the desert. But what I find fun about that is a lot of people in Las Vegas are from other places. So, for example, the adults could say, hey, this looks like the backyard that I grew up in. Here's how it's different from the backyard that you see right behind your house or your apartments here in Las Vegas.
Best of all, by illuminating all the natural marvels just beyond the patio, Backyard Adventures teaches us that there's plenty of enchanting discoveries in our own backyards no matter where we live. And if you don't have a traditional backyard, you can always visit ours.
The Springs Preserve is everybody's backyard. So if you live in a place that doesn't have a backyard, be sure to come and see us. We've got plenty of space for everybody. You can come and do your walking and exploring and getting your hands dirty here with our classes and special events. You can come meet your neighbors here just like you would in your own backyard.
You can rediscover the adventures awaiting just outside your door when Backyard Adventures opens inside the Origin Museum at the Springs Preserve on September 23rd. For more information, visit springspreserve.org. Come see where Las Vegas began as you walk, bike, or ride the train through the Springs Preserve's 3.5 total miles of trails and meander through 110 acres of native habitats and archaeological sites. You'll follow in the footsteps of adventurous explorers and ancient peoples. Overlaid across this urban wilderness are loops of trails that will take you on a secluded journey rich in wildlife and history, made even more remarkable by the fact it's right in the middle of a major metropolitan city. Serving as a main arterial, the Exploration Loop Trail is actually a paved roadway that many of the other trails branch off from, and it offers many modes of travel. If you'd like to try out the trails before committing to a longer, more challenging experience, the Crossroads Trail is perfect for that. It's the closest trail to the museums and other attractions and rises above all the others, providing an incomparable view of the entire preserve complex as well as the valley beyond. Steeped in history, the Springs Trail winds a path alongside some of the earliest man-made structures still remaining in the region. At the western end of this trail is the newly added desert tortoise habitat, the new home of Mojave Max. Given the right season and time of day, it won't be unusual to find yourself strolling alongside one or more of these venerable desert dwellers. If you need an escape from the hustle and bustle of the city, hiking the Cienega Trail provides a wild, immersive experience. Coursing through a wetlands area teeming with wildlife, this trail often rewards visitors with sightings of foxes, coyotes, antelope ground squirrels, and dozens of species of birds. Enjoying the trails doesn't have to be a solitary venture. Bringing friends, work associates, or family along makes for a great experience. So much so, we've added programs to encourage groups to enjoy the social, environmental, and health benefits of exploring our trails together. If only for an hour or an entire day, these trails will provide an easily accessible, surprisingly natural experience. For more information, see springspreserve.org. Having survived the punishing heat of summer, there's no season Las Vegans embrace more fiercely than fall. Its cool, refreshing temperatures make us all want to get outside and do something. At the Springs Preserve, biking our exploration loop won't just get you outside, it'll draw you closer to nature and leave you with memories you and your loved ones can cherish all year round. Tires hum, gears click, brisk air stings your face. The desert is in bloom all around you, and then you spot it. A desert fox trotting into the underbrush mere feet away. But you're not cycling out at Red Rock Canyon, you're just a few miles from the Strip on the Springs Preserve's Exploration Loop, a 2.2-mile paved trail that encompasses the outer reaches of the property.
You know, the Springs Preserve really is an oasis in this city, and a lot of people aren't aware that there's this natural setting out here that isn't explored often. Most people stick to the museum and the playground, which are great, but we have 180 acres to explore, lots of wildlife, plant life, a man-made cienega.
Rare birds make themselves home at the Cienega, or wetlands, a recreation of the valley's natural terrain as it existed in 1905. You could also encounter other wildlife as you pedal your way through the various habitats of the preserve. With only 20 bikes allowed on the trail at one time, native vegetation absorbing the ambient city noise, and no motor traffic to worry about, both you and the animals can drink in the peace and quiet. And though the exploration loop takes just 15 minutes to complete, don't feel like you have to hurry. Stop at the Cottonwood Grove and relish a picnic under the oak trees. Poke around Boomtown 1905 and imagine yourself living at a simpler speed of life. There's plenty of captivating sights to see when you slow down, and bike riding gives you a marvelous opportunity to do just that.
You know, riding a bike here at the preserve is a great way to spend quality time with the family and your significant other. It's a healthy thing to do. You're taking time away from the computer and your cell phone and your daily routine. You get out here, you get to explore nature, take in a little wildlife, take in the plant life, be away from the hustle and bustle of town.
Although outside bikes are prohibited, renting one of our maintained bikes is easy. They come in sizes appropriate for adults and kids, and models with baby carriers are also available. So as the weather cools off, gather your family, hop on some wheels, and take a ride around the Springs Preserve. You never know what you'll see next.
Well, being on a bike, first of all, is a lot of fun, but you can get off the bike and take a look at some of the amazing plant life, wildlife in the area in an intimate way. There's no rush, there's no cars on this path. It's very comfortable and safe. It's a great way to explore, kind of the serene part of Las Vegas in a protected environment.
Ready to ride? Visitors with a Springs Preserve membership enjoy discounted rates on our bike rentals and much more. Joining is as easy as riding a bike. Check out the details at springspreserve.org. Throughout this fall, the Audubon Society will lead walking tours to explore the many birds of the Springs Preserve. Join us as we learn just how diverse and wonderful our feathered friends are. Bring binoculars and wear comfortable shoes as you are guided by Doug Chang, the president of the Red Rock Audubon Society. These enlightening walks are conducted on select Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Admission is free, and no reservations are required. To get last-minute details, check the events calendar at springspreserve.org. He worked for 12 years as a horticulturist at Red Butte Gardens at the University of Utah. But before he became a big-time botanist, Fritz Coleman was a beginner like the rest of us, growing a family vegetable garden in Wyoming, teaching himself the names and properties of weeds. Well, now as the Springs Preserve's new Botanical Garden supervisor, Fritz shares his enthusiasm for plants and the ways they can enhance anyone's life.
I've been reading about these plants for years, living in cold places, being like, ooh, if only I could grow that, wouldn't that be amazing? And so now that I'm here, my plant palette has expanded tremendously, and so I'm just really excited to use all these things that I've been wanting to use for years and to try to grow all this new stuff.
Fritz Coleman may be new to the desert, but his professional experience managing gardens has taught him that the fundamentals of the craft don't change much.
There are a lot of different plants, but the gardening is basically the same thing. Keeping the garden tidy, making sure that plants are happy and healthy, that's kind of universal.
But if gardening is just about tidiness and plant happiness, doesn't it get boring?
That's one thing that I love about gardening, is that you really never run out of stuff to learn. There's always something around the corner that you've never seen or heard of, or some plant that I might want to try to find for the garden, and so that's really what I like about it. It's just bottomless learning. If I am bored, that won't last very long.
Fritz's appetite for bottomless learning will come in handy as the Springs Preserve's new Botanical Garden supervisor. He hopes to learn more about the thousands of Mojave Desert and desert-adapted plants that occupy the Springs' expansive garden, and hopefully change visitors' relationships with the plants around them.
All of a sudden in my early 20s, it just sort of occurred to me that there were plants everywhere covering the earth, and I had never really taken a look at them. And so it was like all of a sudden, I was able to discern all the differences between the plants just by looking across like a wild landscape, and they all just started to pop out to me. And it's also just important to inform people that live here, like, look, these are the plants that grow out around where you live. And so it just provides people with an opportunity to connect with their own landscape, and which is hard to do in a city. And so people can come and be like, oh, I didn't know that that was a native plant.
Fritz's clear passion for cultivating happy plants and creating elevating environments with them shines through whenever he speaks about future plans for the Springs Preserve's garden.
We're currently building a splash pad, and so there's going to be a new landscape all around that. And when we close down this area that we're looking at right now for an electrical expansion, we're also going to use that opportunity to add a lot of new plants and kind of take out some stuff that's become overgrown over the years and just kind of renovate and spruce the whole thing up. And so I am really excited to learn all of these succulents and to really make the place really pop, so when people walk in, they can, like, it takes their breath away. That's really what I'm looking to do. And like coming from the parking lot into the garden, I want the world to completely change.
Fritz not only wants to enhance the atmosphere of the garden, but help residents and plant enthusiasts adapt to the challenges of desert gardening. Fortunately, our gardening classes make it just a little easier to expand your green thumb. But even if you don't intend on becoming a pro botanist, learning about the plants living around you can add unexpected benefits to your life. You see, for Fritz, managing gardens isn't just a profession, but an opportunity to build spaces where people can escape their busy lives, spaces where they can recharge and relax.
Places like the Springs Preserve are a great respite from everyday life. It's just sort of a little taste of something that, this is really soothing. I would like people to leave here feeling like the desert can be a lush place without excessive water use. And just to let people know, like, you can garden in the desert, and you should, because it's beautiful.
We continue our fall festival season with 3 exciting events. First, in October, spooktacular fun for all ages awaits those who dare enter the Springs Preserve's annual Haunted Harvest. This family-friendly event features trick-or-treat stations, carnival games, a maze and petting zoo, monster training, craft activities, live entertainment, food vendors, and much more fun. November brings our popular Dia de Muertos. This 3,000-year-old Hispanic celebration honoring loved ones is full of joy and tradition. This family-friendly event blends rich customs with exciting activities such as live theater and dance performances, altars, mariachis, face painting, sugar skull decorating, and an art exhibition. Then in December, come climb aboard the Springs Preserve's Holiday Express and be whisked away on a magical train ride to Santa's Village. Your very merry adventure includes personal time with Santa, holiday crafts, storytelling, cookie decorating, a nutcracker display, yes, snow, and more. All these events are very popular, so make your plans and reservations today. For more information, go to springspreserve.org. The finest museums do more than simply warehouse historical artifacts. Through thoughtfully curated exhibits and specially planned events, museums can help us see connections between the most diverse sets of topics. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the Nevada State Museum's latest exhibitions. The Nevada State Museum is a magnificent 70,000 square foot building containing a striking public exhibit gallery, as well as storage for Nevada's most notable historic artifacts, natural and man-made. It also bridges past and present, serving youth on the hunt for new discoveries and longtime Nevadans retracing memories of times past. 8,000 fourth graders are bused to the museum every year for a hands-on encounter with 200 million years of Nevada history. Few will ever forget their first time seeing the Nevada State fossil, the Ichthyosaur Shonosaurus popularis.
And downstairs in our dungeons, as I call them, we have some of the most complete specimens of ichthyosaurs in the world. So when someone finds a piece of ichthyosaur, whether that's in China or Germany or in England or Scotland, they'll actually call here or even come here to do more research to understand where that piece comes from, where it fits, how it looks like in comparison.
Others return to relive Las Vegas's humbling beginnings as a railroad town to the ever-expanding electric glamour of the Las Vegas Strip. As part of the new Eclectic Nevada exhibit, visitors can take a real walk down memory lane with a show-stopping 33-foot-long aerial view of the Strip in 1977. As you walk the length of the Strip, you'll see which casinos stood in that era.
But what we've also done is identified what there is now. So you'll be able to walk along it as it was in 77, but also understand exactly what all the casinos were replaced with, if they have been, whether they were imploded or not, and what is there if you walk down the Strip today. So it's a very special part of the exhibit.
While some will only see the image as a record of the shifting casinoscape, others will recall the exciting times of working inside the hotel casinos, alongside entertainers in Vegas shows. This hard work and imagination is on dazzling display at the Jubilee Reunited exhibit. Immersed in the museum's showgirl wall, the exhibit showcases original costume renderings, alongside some of the elaborate designs worn on stage for the legendary show Jubilee.
When you look at the exhibit, it looks like that they are drawings of the costumes, but in fact, actually, the drawings came first. The costumes are an interpretation of Pete Menefee's designs, but you will see they are so closely matched that the costume designers did a fabulous job to really create what Pete had in his mind and had put to paper.
Delicate feathers and crystals weigh nothing on paper, but once sewn onto these impressive costumes, Jubilee showgirls flex their muscles.
That dress is really heavy. It's 6-7 pounds heavy because the crystals that are on it are actually glass, and that glass is set into metal, and so therefore it creates a huge weight, but a beautiful silhouette. They have beautiful hats to go with them as well, and those hats are quite heavy. The one that we have on display at the moment is 6 pounds. So the girls were very strong to be able to hold and parade as they would do across the stage in the outfits.
The Nevada State Museum displays just a fraction of its collection of showgirl costumes, which happens to be the largest collection in the world. The Tropicana donated its costumes to the museum. That donation alone consisted of 11,000 costumes that supported the livelihood of many community members on stage and behind the scenes. Museum curators hope to inspire and educate all visitors about the history and natural history of Nevada. They share the state's untold stories through permanent and changing exhibits and host events to engage the community.
The events that we put on are very much things that we think that the local community would be interested in, whether that's a book signing about something that's local, or right the way through to having the opportunity for different services and clubs to come in and present as well.
The Nevada State Museum connects discovery and memory, imagination and reality, people and communities. Nevada may be a young state, but it has a deep and diverse history to be shared and celebrated.
It's actually really rich in history, the pioneers coming through, and as you work your way through the museum, there is a lot to learn in that. But we're seen as a very young city, particularly. Las Vegas only came into being in 1905, but no, there's a lot more to it like that, and we've grown very quickly, and so with that comes a lot of history.
The Nevada State Museum is open Tuesdays through Sundays. Admission is included with paid general admission to the Springs Preserve and is free for Preserve members. Animal life abounds and amazes visitors in one of the Preserve's essential collections, which is a sanctuary and showplace, but above all, house and home for an impressive community of indigenous desert specimens. All in a location that replicates the southern Nevada landscape and nearly ensures the kinds of animal sightings that can be quite rare in this region. Our outdoor live animal exhibits feature Mojave natives who've adapted to arid desert conditions, including relict leopard frogs. Once thought to be extinct, the relict leopard frog is alive and well at the Springs Preserve. Lizards. Amongst the rocks and boulders housing several large exhibits, you'll find a variety of lizards, including the chuckwalla, tiger whiptail, and desert iguana. Desert cottontails, they're cute, they're fluffy, and they're so close you can almost touch them. Hopping about an exterior enclosure, these critters can be seen from a variety of perspectives, but perhaps the most fun is via a domed window from beneath the habitat. Gray fox. Though the nocturnal gray fox sleeps in its burrow during the day, you can see it through a small window inside a darkened rockwork cave. There's pocket gophers, snakes, Gila monsters, and more, so come out and enjoy a close-up look at these rare and beautiful natives of Las Vegas. For more information, see springspreserve.org. While some things can be difficult to grow in our desert valley, herbs are not one of them. Herbs of all varieties seem to thrive here. Today, Chef Cicely shows us how these homegrown edibles can enhance all your dishes, as in today's recipe for simple sweet and savory tarts.
Howdy folks, my name's Chef Cicely and thank you for joining me here at the Divine Cafe at the Springs Preserve. We're keeping things fresh in the kitchen today with fresh herbs. And fresh herbs in Las Vegas are a wonderful thing to grow, particularly like with this basil plant, provided that they can get ample light, not too much light, and also a good amount of moisture, and are situated in a way that they can get good fast draining soil so that they're not overwatered. So what I'm going to do today is one of my favorite things to do with fresh herbs, and that's to wake up different dishes. So to start, I'm going to grab a pastry paper and I'm simply going to roll it out. This is a pre-formed one for convenience. I'm going to take a fork and I'm going to do what's called scoring the edges. This one's already rolled pretty thin, so I'm not too concerned with rolling it out much further. Rotate it around there. A little additional score as a guide for how I want this pastry to puff up. I'm going to put it in the oven for at 350 degrees for 10 minutes or so. Then I'm going to put an egg wash on it, and while it's baking, I'm going to continue with the rest of my toppings. Now for this pastry paper, I'm going to take some carrots, or I could really use any harvest vegetable that I've got around. Brussels sprouts, zucchinis, I could use onions, I can use mushrooms, eggplant, squash, spinach. The list is really quite endless. a light peel on these carrots so that their brightness shows through, and I don't have any of the sort of dark dinginess of what the outside of the carrot is. Because remember, we also eat with our eyes, so we want to make sure that everything looks pretty too. So a simple slice of all these carrots. And then these carrots are going to get sauteed lightly with butter, a little bit of salt, and some pepper. Step 3 is a little bit of ricotta cheese. Into this ricotta, I'm going to crack an egg, light amount of seasoning with some pepper, with some salt. Whisk this up. All right, we've got some really great building blocks here with ricotta, with carrots, and then I'm gonna pick the herbs that I would like to put onto my tart when it's complete. I'm gonna go for chives, some parsley, and some basil. Now, because I'm using fine herbs for this, I can chop up the whole thing. I can eat the stems. I can use the basil stem as for a little bit more crunch in what is otherwise a savory tart. Any parts that are a little too much, simply pull those out. And here I have a carrot tart that I had already put together. So on here I have my pastry paper, edges scored, baked it, put on an egg wash, put on ricotta cheese, topped it with my sauteed carrots, threw it in the oven for another 10 minutes, and then I'm simply gonna top it with all of my fresh herbs. And again, a rough chop so I can see the shape. I can also see which herb I'm about to get a beautiful bite of. Now this sort of creation can be done in a variety of different ways. Same steps, just different ingredients. So I can also build my tart using fresh herbs and a little bit of vanilla. I'm gonna mix that in, same way that I did with the ricotta and with the egg. But I've got mascarpone cheese here, so I'm definitely going for something a little sweet on this one. For my sweet tart, I've got peaches. I could also use strawberries, I could use oranges, I could use blueberries. Any fruit that I want to try, and any fruit that I want to complement. Now, I'm using fresh herbs again, and I'm using the more delicate ones, so I can chop them up, or I can leave them whole. And so now I have my sweet tart, and I also have my savory tart. And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for joining me, Chef Cicely, here at the Divine Cafe at the Springs Preserve. We hope to see you here.
Our hugely popular butterfly habitat is now open for the fall season through November 24th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The schedule is subject to change based on weather conditions and special event availability. Admission to the butterfly habitat is $2 for value members, $3 for non-members. Bronze and above members receive free admission. All guests ages 2 and up must be ticketed. Follow all our flight plans by visiting our website at springspreserve.org or follow us on social media to be the first to know. There's a lot more to discover, so join us next time here at the Springs Preserve, where backyard adventures, wild cycling, gardening expertise, and our glamorous history mingle to bring new life to Las Vegas.